thanks for coming. Obviously, it's nice to go to Hawaii, and it's a business trip, and that's what our guys really. I was proud of how they prepared to go, but also when we got there, how they stayed locked into what we wanted to do and what the goal was to go 1-0. And so we're 1-0 right now. A couple positives, obviously, is we took care of the time of possession. We had the ball for 36 minutes. Turnover margin, obviously, defensively, we got 4 turnovers, and also, we ended up +3 and also a 4th down stop. We didn't have any penalties on offense. They had the one on Balaam Brooks that I wouldn't call a penalty. But overall, we played a really clean game. And then, a couple things. Deshaun McEwen, the pick 6 was a real shot in the arm for us as a team. But I thought we played pretty good football for the most part. The negative defensively was we didn't rush the passer very well. And we gave him a little bit too much time as far as that goes. So we got to do a better job there. We did create 4 turnovers. We had a good 4th down stop. And then overall, I thought we played very physical. I thought guys ran to the ball. It was one of those games where you could hear football, and I was glad to be able to hear football out there. We had 3 turnovers, an interception, and 2 fumbles. We got to take care of the ball. We got to take advantage of the field position, because field position wise, we're really in good shape, and offensively we got to take a little better advantage. We got to finish in the short field, and then the one thing Ryan talked about to the offense and was 3rd down mental awareness errors. There were some opportunities. If a guy takes it and gets up the field a little bit, we're going to get another 1st down. And so that awareness, I think, was something that he brought to us as a staff, but brought to the offense. The positives, ran the ball well. Ran the ball much better. And individually backs, they were making the first hit or miss, and that was good. We eliminated the drops that were hurting us as far as continuing drives. Pass protection was a lot better. And I mentioned the time of possession. Special teams, probably as much as anything, when you look at field position, how that changed, and the job that Jack did, and the guys on the coverage teams and return teams. We blocked a punt. We had a 14-yard punt return, Mackay did. We had 6 touchbacks where Jack put the ball in the end zone. We netted over 50 yards a punt, and he was hitting that thing pretty clean. And then starting position for Hawaii was on the 8-yard line, the 7-yard line, and the 1-yard line, plus on the recovered fumble on another fumble. So that, to me, obviously, and we were 2 of 3 in field goals. We want to be 3 and 3. Jack wants to be 3 and 3. So we got to do a little better job there. But I thought at the end of the day, you look at the time of possession and the turnover margin, and then statistically what we did from the standpoint in the quick kicking game, I thought was really good. Now, I took a lot of time there, so.
What are you seeing from looking ahead to Nevada? And I hate to put it this way, but you've coached teams that haven't had success before. I mean, you were at Oregon State.
Oh, yeah. Blame me.
You like the way I preface that? But what are you seeing from Nevada? It's easy to look at their win-loss record.
Yeah.
You can go back to last year, but you obviously know that they're dangerous, hungry. So what do you see?
Well, number one, the opponents they played are 26-9. So they played some pretty good football teams. And the quarterback, Lewis, he's a transfer from Colorado, was a starter at Colorado. He's played in significant football games. I think he's really a good player. He throws the ball well. He also leads them in rushing, and that's something that we've got to work real hard on as far as defensively, taking care. And then, you can't be fooled, and they're a good football team. We obviously are going with the attitude we got to win the next one. If we want to do as well as we can do, and we've got to improve this week in practice. We had a good day yesterday, but we've got to get better, and we've got to go out and play our best football game of the year.
You see a team that's winless this year, lost 16 in a row. Is it human nature to maybe take somebody lightly, and how do you emphasize to the players that this team can really jump up?
Well, we started that process yesterday. Hopefully they're listening. We got a team that listens pretty well. I think that we also got a team that is pretty resilient, and they pretty much understand where we're at. For us to have the goals that we want to have, and you never know about the conference race period, because people beat some people this weekend, and you never know what's going to happen. But we got some goals, and one of them is to win the next 5 games.
What did you point out to them specifically about Nevada that says these guys are dangerous and so on?
Well, yesterday was more the review from Hawaii. We spoke a little bit. We did some things. Today we'll get more into Nevada, but it will be, pretty common sense. You look at where we're at right now, look at where they're at. They're a good football team. We've got, we said last week we had 6. Now we got 5 we got to go get.
Can you talk about how your team dealt with the adversity of being up 17-0, then down 24-20, where it can go one of 2 ways at that point, and then you respond with a huge play on offense? I'm trying to remember. Mackay caught it.
Yeah.
But Jalen made a nice play, right, to kind of avoid some pressure, roll, and throw. Can you just talk about that sequence?
Yeah.
Going down and going back up?
Well, it's a huge, big play.
Yeah.
And during this last 4 days, 4 games, we kind of had those happen to us. And so it was nice to see, Mackay get open. I think they dropped the coverage a little bit. It was great to have Jalen have vision and get it down the field, and so and find him. So I think all of that is a product of a little bit of a scramble drill, the receiver taking off and going long. You either have guys going long and you have guys coming back to you. So that was part of it, and then Jalen did a nice job finding him.
How often on special teams are onside kick plays worked on? You probably had to face off for 4 or 5 at least, or I think maybe 2 against Ohio. There was another. There was this past weekend. They elected to kick a field goal to give themselves an opportunity if they recover. How much of a focal point is it day in and day out, that type of play?
Well, Deke does a great job of it. When we go out on Thursdays, the first thing we do is we set up our hands team. We set up our anti-hands team when we want to get the ball. But so we work before practice starts on that. We show a lot of tape. A lot of people, are very, they've got some sneaky ways to do it, and different ways you kick the ball, different ways where you want to go with it. The one thing is they kicked it to Martin, and Martin is one of the best overall football players that we have. When you take the mental part and the physical part and match them together, he's as good as anybody on our team.
Brady, you said it sounded like Aztec football. Is that kind of one of the easiest, clearest ways your team is engaged when you hear that?
Yeah, it really is. I always, we're going to go practice today. Is Toughness Tuesday for us, and we'll get after each other, and by 5:45 I'll know if we had a good practice, and part of that is what I heard during practice. So that was huge. I thought, and it was a physical game. I mean, they were physical on each other, especially I thought, in us tackling and our pursuit to the football.
For the grandma sitting on the couch at home when she hears sounded like football. What does it sound like when you're down there? What's it sound like?
It sounds like plastic hitting plastic, I guess, but no, they're just a lot of guys getting to the ball, and that's part of it. And the more bodies, the more hats we can get to the ball, the better we're going to be.
Was that the surest your team has tackled this year? You tracked missed tackles. It didn't feel like, just watching on television, it didn't feel like there were many missed tackles from your defense.
Not as many as we had had. We had obviously the last 3-4 weeks. I didn't think we tackled very good, but I thought we leveraged the ball good, and that's part of it, and that's where it starts, and then guys getting to the football.
Brady, you opened up competition, right?
Mm-hmm.
On a larger scale the last few weeks. Teams and players can respond differently to that. How do you think your guys responded?
I thought they did good. I thought they did well, Todd. I thought, as a party coming in and getting his first start, he played pretty well, gave us a chance to move Crenshaw to the left tackle. But I thought Drew did a nice job. He's got to improve, and that's, the big thing that him and I talked about yesterday is his improvement during this week. But he got better. I think Lucky Sutton, and Shelton Cantley. I mean, I think both those guys bring some juice to us as a team, and part of that is what they did down on scout team, and then getting them involved in the kicking game. So I think those guys all have done a nice job and earned the right.
Both Lucky and Cam Davis had obviously a lot more of a role. What made it so this week was their time as opposed to earlier this season?
Yeah, I wish I could answer that. I think their improvement. I think sometimes guys, I'll say this to Drew, thought he was going to be the starter, and took it for granted. And, I give him credit because he told me this. And I thought that was, something that he looked at and then got himself going again in the right way, I guess, fundamentally.
What do you think about how Lucky responded to getting his chance?
No, I thought it was great. You can't, Lucky is as good a kid as you want on your football team. Glad he ran as well as you did, because I always look at him as a linebacker also. He didn't want to play linebacker though.
So how's the running back room looking now? I mean, there's only one ball and you got all these.
We'll figure it out. Well, that's why Jimmy's here. Get the right guys in, and you got to have the right guys in. And that's one of the big things that I think we've improved on, is have the playmakers on the field. Especially those critical downs, have them on the field.
You guys have also gotten a lot of contributions from walk-ons. Can you talk about the role of walk-ons in general, and then also specifically this year, how important?
Yeah, and I'm kind of sensitive to that because I was a walk-on to begin with. And when I see a guy like a Martin Blake, like Mekhi Shaw, right, who go out there and work their tails out every day, and they're just impressive in how they do things, and their contribution either from the special teams to start with, or offensively or defensively. I really think, those are two of the names that come, to my head, but they both have done a really good job of competing and, being tough, mentally and physically.
I think also like Browning, I think started as a walk-on.
Yeah.
Devon. Are these bigger contributions from walk-ons than you might have expected, or is this when you get a preferred walk-on, you have an expectation that these guys could?
I think we knew, probably as much as anything, I'll say with Jack. I think there wasn't any question that at some point. In fact, I think part of the recruitment of a walk-on was, hey, as Matt gets done, you're gonna get that, scholarship, you know, as long as you progress and do those things. So, I think those 4 guys that you mentioned, all kind of, you get out there at 6 AM and you watch them get after it and how they compete. And that's when you start to get a feel for a guy that, hey, this guy may be a guy that we're gonna, you know, give a scholarship to.
What's also the dynamic of the scholarship guy sees this walk-on challenging him for his job? Is it like, does that, in your mind, make those guys maybe take another step, or is the walk-on
I
more
hope,
hungry sometimes?
you know, I hope, you know, and like I tell everybody, the best players are gonna play. I don't care if you're a senior, I don't care if you've been here 6 years. The best players, I don't care if you've been here 3 days. If you're the best player, you're gonna play. And I think that's something that these guys have earned.
You said you were a walk-on,
Yes,
so no.
for 2 years. You know, I was a starter for 2 years.
Did you feel like you were treated
For
as
4
well as
years.
somebody else, or what was that?
I
experience like?
didn't care. I didn't give a shit. I wanted to play football. I mean, I wanted to play football. That's all I wanted to do. Get to hit people. That was fun.
Was that more of a challenge though, as a walk-on, that you thought? you had
No,
some
because I
clue?
was smarter. I'm being honest. Wasn't as good an athlete, but I was smarter. I knew the game.
Did you get a scholarship at some point?
Oh, yeah.
What
I
was
would
that-
have got it earlier, but they had a coaching change.
What was the day like when they told you you got a scholarship?
I probably said it's about time.
So, because I noticed that you'll put on social media. when you
Yeah,
were
it's awesome.
awarded.
It's awesome to see the kids get excited for their teammates.
'Cause- so that must make you feel a little bit something different than a lot of guys who are coaches who were scholarship guys.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I mean, I'm excited for the kids. And then I'm excited for the kids who get into the celebration because of how they feel about that guy on their team. So they're a pretty good teammate.
It's kind of like a Christmas moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Hey Brady, recruiting question, since the conference picture is kind of formalized a little bit in the last few weeks, are recruits asking you questions still about conference, and if so, what are they asking you?
You know, not as much, you know, no. I think right now, you know, we haven't heard anything, obviously. You guys haven't heard anything. And it's, no, Todd, not as much. We lost a couple kids, though, because of it, which, you know, but we do like the kids that right now, you know, we have committed.
You're going to get an extra week to recruit this season. Can you talk a little bit in general about the recruiting process?
Well, our coaches all went out. We practiced the off week, and we'll do the same thing this off week. We'll practice Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and go to high schools and go to games on Friday nights and Saturday nights, and get out there as much as we can. And talk about San Diego State and the opportunities and the great degree that you'll get from here.
With the NIL, how much different is it?
Right now, you don't hear a whole lot about guys, and it's more as the official visits start and home visits start and all that, then I think you'll get a little bit more of that, where do we stand and hopefully not too much.
What's Deshaun McCune's status, and do you think he'll be able to play this week?
It's too close to call as of now. I just got done with Pat, the trainer, and there's a battery of tests they go through, and his numbers keep getting better. So we'll see.